Welcome to day 3 of 40 days of faith. And I'm excited. I'm very excited. If you can tell, I'm already excited about what God has already been doing. Yesterday, we began to explore the original purposes of faith, the original reasons for faith. I know faith is for receiving from God, and most people just keep faith as that. I need God to answer my prayers, so I have faith for Him to answer my prayers. But we established that faith is for more than just God meeting your mundane needs. Faith is for living a life that makes God proud. We learned that in Hebrews chapter 11, that these men and women lived lives that earned a good report. They lived lives that earned them a good report from God. And we're going to continue exploring that subject. I would just encourage you, why don't you subscribe to the channel, share this link with somebody who you think might be blessed by it, as we blessed by an opportunity to boost their faith. And then leave a comment. I'd like to know what blessed you. Let's go in. Keep exploring the purposes of faith. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6 says this: but without faith, it is impossible to please God. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. This is why faith is a necessary ingredient for our salvation, which is why the Bible says the just shall live by faith, because faith pleases God. Wherever you are, just say faith pleases God. You can type in the chat, just say faith pleases God. My faith pleases God. As I thought about this, and a thought came to mind. Do you have like your favorite restaurant? That restaurant where you've gone to like 100 times and you order the same dish 100 times. The day you discover that dish, you have not deviated from ordering that dish. That's the kind of person I am. Once I get that dish that works, I stay with it. I'm not trying to explore anymore. I just want to stay with the dish. So let's say you have this dish and then you have a friend. You take your friend. You've told your friend so much about this restaurant. This restaurant is amazing. This dish is incredible. You should eat the steak in this restaurant. You should eat the fish in this restaurant. You should eat the this in this restaurant. And then finally they agree to go with you. And they go there, you sit down, you don't even need the menu. Tell them, don't worry about it. Don't even look at the menu. I'll order for you. And then the waiter comes and you just begin to spew out, oh, this, all your favorite dishes. You're telling the waiter what to do, how you want the steak, how you want the fish, what to do. Replace this with that. You're going on like the expert that you are. And then all of a sudden they hit you with bad news. The dish that is your favorite dish has been taken off the menu for some reason best known to the chef and the management of the restaurant. And understandably, you're distraught, you're uncomfortable, you're disappointed. The waiter tries to suggest some meals that are good. Your friend is hungry, so they look for something in the menu. That menu that you discarded, they look for it and they find what they want. You order something else. It's good, but it's really not that. So your friend is like, wow, this is nice. You're like, yeah, I know it's nice, but I need to bring you back. I need to bring you back when that particular food, that particular dish is on the menu. Why? Because I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, faith is God's favorite dish on your menu. Faith is the best thing on your menu. Faith is what pleases God the most. God looks forward to seeing you live by faith. God looks forward to seeing you live by faith. In Matthew chapter 8, we see an incredible story. This Roman soldier is told that his servant is sick. So he approaches Jesus to heal his servant. Jesus offers to come to his home, as kind as Jesus is. And this man does something insane. He turns down the physical presence of Jesus in his home and opts for a word from Jesus. This is Jesus we're talking about. Let the man come to your home. Let the man come to your home. But this man's like, no. No need for you to come to my home. Why don't you just say something? If you say some words, I know how this works. If you say some words, my servant is going to be healed. And this blew Jesus's mind. Jesus is like, wait, what? Where is this coming from? Matthew chapter 8 verse 10 actually says this. It says, when Jesus heard this insane request, he marveled and said to those who followed, assuredly, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel. Jesus was saying, in my own words, he's saying, I've been looking for this kind of faith All these 30 plus years I've been here, I've been looking for this kind of faith, and the fact that it's being expressed by a Roman, by a Gentile from an unexpected source, it blows my mind. It goes without saying that Jesus says the word and the soldiers and servant is healed. But the lesson we learn from here that Jesus was pleased with the demonstration of this man's faith. God is pleased when we live by faith. Faith pleases God. God is not pleased by our worship or our prayer or our life of discipline, Christian discipline, spiritual discipline, if it is not an expression of our faith. In fact, the Bible actually says anything done outside of faith is sin. Romans chapter 14, verse 23 says, whatever is not from faith is sin. Whatever is done with doubt is sinful. When you read the stories in Hebrews chapter 11, you realize that these men and women were really primarily trying to please God. That's what their objective was. Whether they were sacrificing, whether they were believing, whether they were fighting, whatever they were doing, they were just trying to please God. Take Enoch, for example. We talked about him yesterday. But the Bible says in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5, that by faith Enoch was taken so that he did not see death and was not found because God had taken him. For before he was taken, he had this testimony. He pleased God. God was pleased. God was so pleased with him that God could not wait for time and death to draw him closer. God swooped in and drew the man closer to himself. So it was actually, if you read the Bible, it was actually because of Enoch that we get Enoch's story in Hebrews chapter 11 verse 5 that we get Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. We see that God makes what was a personal conviction a universal principle. We see that God took Enoch to heaven because he pleased him. Enoch pleased God. And then God lays out the principle in Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6 where he says, but without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he who comes to God must first believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. He who must engage God must first believe. He who must seek God must first believe. He who must worship must first believe. He who prays must first believe. He who reads their Bible must first believe. He who serves in church must first believe. He who shares the gospel with their friends and family must first believe. We must first believe. We must first have faith. That is what pleases God. Everything we do must be an expression of faith. Working in that office, an expression of faith. Being a parent, an expression of faith. Being a husband, a wife, an expression of faith. Working on the farm, whatever we are doing, virtually and in person, your social media posts, your social media comments must be an expression of faith if it's going to please God. So what if God took an assessment of our lives? Would we say we live a life that pleases him because of the lives of faith that we live? What if God took an assessment of our lives? Will he say that our lives are overflowing with expressions of faith? I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I have to take assessment for myself, but I'm challenging you. I'm inviting you to a life that pleases God. I'm inviting you to get your faith back on the menu, so that your life pleases God. Get your faith, get God's favorite dish back on the menu, because that is what pleases him. God is pleased when the just, you and I, the righteous, you and I, when born again Christians, children of God, live by faith. Faith pleases God. If you want to please God, live by faith. I hope this blessed you. I hope this was transformative, as enlightening as it was for me. My faith pleases God. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? Why don't you share this video with someone who needs an encouragement? It might just be the best thing that they get. Like the video so that more people can see it. And then I'd like to know what blessed you. Leave a comment saying, hey, this is what blessed me, Pastor Vic. I was blessed by this. I'm excited. I cannot wait to go on to the next couple of days. They are going to be exciting. See you tomorrow.